The Galactic Bank was enormous, a gleaming sphere of silver and blue orbiting the planet New Ether. It floated silently in the void, a symbol of wealth, power, and rules that no one dared to break. Humanity had finally arrived after years of negotiation, decades of hope, and a lifetime of preparation. Earth needed a loan, not just any loan, but a loan large enough to rebuild a planet battered by centuries of neglect. Cities were crumbling, forests had been lost, and oceans were polluted beyond imagination. The humans walked into the bank's grand hall with high hopes. The hall was massive. Its ceiling shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the stars outside. Alien beings of all shapes and sizes floated or walked among holographic desks, whispering in languages humans could barely understand. At the center sat the Galactic Bank's council, perched like judges in an ancient court. Each member radiated authority, their eyes glowing faintly with artificial intelligence enhancements. They didn't look at humanity with curiosity. They looked with condescension. "We are here to request a loan," said Ambassador Kara Malik, her voice steady despite the nerves curling in her stomach. She stepped forward, her polished suit reflecting the soft light. "Earth is committed to reforms. We have a detailed plan for reconstruction, including renewable energy, water purification, and education programs. We only ask for your support." A tall, crystalline being with limbs like liquid glass tilted its head. Its voice was a harmony of tones impossible to mimic. "Your request is insufficient," it said. "Earth is too primitive. Your species has repeatedly mismanaged resources. Lending you funds would be an unwise risk." Kara's jaw tightened. "We have learned from our mistakes. This loan is not only an investment in Earth, it is an opportunity for trade, scientific development, and cultural exchange." Another member, a floating orb that pulsed with light, blinked slowly. "Your request is denied. Risk is unacceptable. Consider your proposal closed." The words hit like a physical blow. The humans stared, stunned. Kara swallowed, trying to maintain her composure. "Are you saying there is no way the Galactic Bank will support Earth?" "Correct," said the crystalline being. "Your species is irrelevant in our calculations, irrelevant." The word echoed in Kara's mind as she left the council chamber. She looked at her team, diplomats, engineers, economists, and scientists. Each face showed the same mix of shock, frustration, and a spark that would not be extinguished. Humanity had been underestimated, again. Back on Earth, news of the rejection spread instantly. Social networks buzzed, hollow news channels reported every detail, and people everywhere felt the sting of dismissal. But instead of despair, a quiet determination settled over the planet. Humanity had been told no. Humanity had been told they were irrelevant, and that was exactly the wrong thing to say to humans. In secret rooms across the world, teams began to brainstorm. The brightest minds gathered, some in virtual reality chambers, some in hidden labs. Ideas were scribbled on digital boards. Simulations ran for days, and debates stretched into nights. How could humanity respond to a rejection so complete, so absolute? One idea kept rising above the rest, a spark that ignited excitement. If the bank would not help Earth, then perhaps Earth could find a way to turn the situation around completely. Not by asking, not by pleading, but by using human creativity, intelligence, and sheer audacity. The plan would be bold, almost impossible, but humans had a history of achieving the impossible. "We could buy the bank itself," said Dr. Ravi Patel, a financial genius who had modeled interstellar trade systems since he was a teenager. His eyes gleamed behind thick glasses. "If the Galactic Bank owns the planet New Ether, then legally we can buy the planet. And if we own the planet, we own the bank." The room fell silent. Then laughter, low at first, incredulous, and then growing because the idea was so crazy it could just work. Buying an entire planet? Humanity had never done that before. No one had. And yet, with human ingenuity, careful planning, and a refusal to accept impossibility, maybe they could. Kara's voice cut through the excitement. "It's audacious. It's risky. But it is also perfect. They denied Earth a loan, and now we can deny them control over their own planet. We turn their arrogance into our opportunity." And so humanity began to plan, not a loan, not a petition, but a mission to buy a planet. The rejection at the Galactic Bank became the spark that would ignite a story no other species would ever forget. Across Earth, people began working together in ways that had never been seen before. Engineers drafted plans for massive interstellar freighters. Scientists calculated supply chains and energy outputs. Diplomats reached out quietly to fringe alien traders willing to assist. The humans were not just angry, they were inspired. Every obstacle, every smirk from the bank's executives fueled their determination. For the first time in centuries, humanity felt united by a single audacious goal, and deep inside, every human knew if they succeeded, they would not just rebuild Earth, they would show the galaxy that humans could not be ignored. The stars outside New Ether seemed to watch silently, as if curious about the species that refused to bow to rejection, and humanity was ready to prove that sometimes, the species that everyone underestimates can change the rules of the galaxy. After the rejection from the Galactic Bank, humanity did not despair. On the contrary, the denial became a fire in their hearts. Across Earth, from bustling cities to quiet research stations, humans worked together in ways never seen before. Governments, corporations, scientists, and ordinary citizens joined forces. Their goal was clear. If the bank would not help Earth, humanity would find a way to take control. Not through violence, but through ingenuity, law, and determination. At a secret command center hidden beneath the Sahara Desert, Ambassador Kara Malik and Dr. Ravi Patel led a team of strategists, engineers, and diplomats. Giant holographic maps of the galaxy floated in the air, showing trade routes, resource planets, and New Ether, the shining silver and blue jewel that housed the Galactic Bank. Kara tapped on a point of light. "This is our target," she said. "Everything we do revolves around this planet. If we own it, we control the bank, and the bank cannot ignore us again." The plan was bold. First, humanity needed money, not just billions, but trillions of credits. Traditional methods were too slow, and no alien investor would trust humans after the rejection. So, humans combined all available resources: Earth's remaining natural reserves, advanced technology patents, rare minerals, and even intellectual property. They formed a new kind of economy, one that moved faster than any traditional galactic system. Meanwhile, engineers designed massive interstellar freighters capable of carrying enormous amounts of resources across light years. These ships were unlike anything ever built. They used hybrid propulsion systems that combined nuclear fusion, solar sails, and experimental warp drives. Each vessel was equipped with AI co-pilots designed by human scientists. The AI was programmed to adapt, learn, and solve unexpected problems during long journeys through space. Speed is important, but precision is even more important, Ravi explained during a planning session. If we miscalculate even slightly, the transfer of funds or resources could fail. We need to anticipate every obstacle: laws, space traffic, or even alien interference. Humans have always succeeded where others fail because we think differently. Now is the time to prove it again. Diplomats played a crucial role. Humans secretly contacted fringe alien traders and independent planets that were sympathetic to humanity. Many had grievances against the Galactic Bank, which had grown arrogant over centuries. These allies provided valuable advice: legal loopholes, trade opportunities, and access to high VO. resources. Every contact added another thread to humanity's web of preparation. At the same time, Earth scientists worked on technology to manage a planet remotely. Owning New Ether was one thing, but running the bank and the planet required infrastructure. They developed autonomous construction drones, advanced energy grids, and communication systems capable of controlling New Ether from Earth if necessary. Humans prepared to manage the planet efficiently, showing that ownership was not just a title, it came with responsibility. Months passed, and progress was rapid. Humans adapted ideas from alien trade laws, used AI algorithms to maximize efficiency, and ran simulations that predicted the bank's every potential reaction. Every department contributed. Engineers solved propulsion problems. Diplomats negotiated quietly. Economists calculated risk margins. And strategists kept the team focused. Then came the most critical part: the legal purchase of New Ether. According to intergalactic law, a planet could be owned if a species offered a fair trade and no other party objected within a certain time frame. Humans studied centuries of legal precedent and realized that the Galactic Bank, arrogant and overconfident, could not legally block the transaction if humanity executed it correctly. "They think they are untouchable," Kara said, smiling. "But rules exist even for them, and we know the rules better than anyone." To make the offer, humanity created a virtual trading entity. This entity was backed by Earth's combined resources and presented as a legitimate, neutral buyer. It offered the Galactic Bank a deal too good to refuse: full payment for new ether in secured credits and resources, with all contracts guaranteed through interstellar law. The bank, expecting only petitions or pleas, initially laughed at the idea. But human precision, preparation, and legality left no room for denial. As the launch date approached, anticipation swept across Earth. Citizens watched news feeds, joined community events, and contributed in any way they could, from coding AI algorithms to producing energy supplies for the fleet. Humanity had never felt more united. They were no longer asking for help. They were claiming what they could earn through skill, intelligence, and persistence. On the eve of departure, Kara stood on a platform overlooking the largest human-built freighter. It gleamed under the Earth sun, enormous and beautiful, ready to cross the stars. "Tomorrow," she said, "we go to New Ether. Tomorrow we show the galaxy that humans do not accept no as an answer. Tomorrow we turn rejection into opportunity. We are not asking. We are claiming. And we will succeed because we are human, and that is more powerful than they understand." The team cheered, a mix of excitement and nerves. Engineers checked the freighters, AI systems hummed with readiness, and diplomats reviewed final instructions. Humanity's bold plan was set. No one knew exactly what would happen next, but one thing was certain. The galaxy had never seen humans act together like this, and the stars themselves seemed to watch, waiting for the species that refused to be ignored. And so, humanity prepared to launch, not just to buy a planet, but to rewrite their place in the galaxy. Every mind, every hand, every heart was ready. The dream that had started with a rejection was about to become the greatest achievement in human history. The human fleet gleamed like a ribbon of stars as it left Earth's orbit. The ships were massive, their sleek metal hulls reflecting sunlight as they moved in perfect formation. This was humanity's boldest venture yet. Not a war, not a simple mission, but a challenge to the galaxy itself. For decades, humans had been dismissed, underestimated, and ignored. Now they were heading to New Ether to claim the planet that housed the very bank that had rejected them. Ambassador Kara Malik stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Independence, her eyes scanning the holographic star maps. She could feel the tension in the crew around her. Pilots adjusted thrusters, engineers monitored fusion cores, and AI co-pilots calculated the fastest, safest path to New Ether. Every movement had been planned, simulated, and tested thousands of times. But the universe was unpredictable, and Kara knew they had to be ready for anything. Dr. Ravi Patel, standing beside her, checked the financial modules one last time. "All credits are secured. All legal documents verified. Every loophole accounted for," he said. His voice held a mix of excitement and pride. "If the Galactic Bank challenges us, we are untouchable. Legally, they cannot stop this transaction. And technically, we are ready for anything they might throw at us." As the fleet approached the orbit of New Ether, the planet came into view. It was even more impressive than holograms had suggested. The banks, trade centers, and administrative towers shimmered under the planet's sun. Alien ships patrolled the skies, and the Galactic Bank's headquarters floated above the surface like a crown. Humans had prepared for resistance, but they hoped to succeed without conflict. The goal was not war. It was ingenuity and legality. Kara gave the signal, and the fleet began the carefully orchestrated maneuvers. The first step was to establish communication with the bank. A human diplomat ship transmitted a formal offer: the purchase of New Ether in exchange for secured credits and resources, all legally guaranteed according to interstellar law. The offer was precise, irrefutable, and calculated to leave the bank no choice. Inside the bank, the council reacted with shock. The crystalline being leaned forward, its multifaceted face reflecting surprise. "This way is unprecedented," it said. "They intend to buy the planet?" "Yes," said a human representative in a video feed. "All contracts are valid. All conditions met. You have 72 standard hours to complete the transaction." The bank council scrambled. They attempted to block the transfer, sending legal queries and urgent messages. But humanity had anticipated every possible objection. AI systems on human ships responded in real time, adjusting offers, presenting documents, and proving that every action was within galactic law. Every loophole, every regulation, every clause had been studied. The humans were not only prepared, they were untouchable. While negotiations continued, engineers on the human freighters prepared for the physical phase of the plan. Drones were deployed to scan the planet's surface, mapping key structures and ensuring that all resources, including the bank's operational systems, could be accessed efficiently. Humans had no intention of causing harm, but they needed to secure the planet to manage it properly. Tension grew as the deadline approached. The bank's executives whispered and conferred. They could not outright reject the humans without violating galactic law, yet they were unwilling to surrender authority. Meanwhile, humans remained calm, relying on preparation, skill, and the simple power of human determination. Kara addressed the crew. Remember, we do this not for conquest, but for fairness. We prove that humans can achieve greatness without destroying others. Precision, patience, and courage, this is how we succeed. The final hours were intense. Alien enforcement ships approached, curious and cautious. Humans broadcast legal status and compliance protocols, showing they were fully authorized to operate in orbit. AI navigation systems guided the freighters in perfect formation, while diplomats sent real-time updates to every relevant authority. The galaxy watched silently, waiting to see what humans would do next. Then, at the stroke of the final hour, the transaction completed. Holographic screens on every human ship displayed the same words. Ownership of New Ether confirmed. Transfer complete. Cheers erupted throughout the fleet. Humans had done the impossible. They had legally purchased the planet that housed the bank that had rejected them. Kara allowed herself a small smile. We own it, she said softly. Not through violence, not through deception, but through planning, intelligence, and courage. Humanity has done what others said we could not. The alien council inside the bank watched, stunned. They had underestimated humans again, and as humans began to descend to New Ether to implement their plan, the galaxy began to whisper. These were no ordinary beings. They were clever, determined, and relentless. As the fleet prepared to land, engineers activated autonomous drones to begin planet-wide preparations. AI systems synchronized with the bank's servers, ready to integrate human ethics, efficiency, and transparency into its operations. The stage was set for the next phase, turning New Ether from a symbol of alien arrogance into a beacon of human ingenuity. And above it all, Kara looked out at the stars. Humanity had turned rejection into triumph. They had claimed not just a planet, but a future, and they were only getting started. New Ether sparkled beneath the human fleet, a world of advanced alien cities, gleaming towers, and busy spaceports. From orbit, it looked almost peaceful, but the humans knew the real challenge was just beginning. Owning the planet was one thing. Controlling the galactic bank and transforming it into a fair, efficient system was another. Ambassador Kara Malik stood on the bridge of the Independence, looking at the holographic map of the bank's headquarters. This is it, she said. We've bought the planet. Now we make it ours. Not by force, but by showing them a better way. Engineers deployed autonomous drones that flew like swarms of metallic birds across the planet. Their mission was to integrate human systems into the bank's infrastructure. The drones moved with precision, installing new servers, updating communication grids, and creating interfaces that allowed humans to manage operations efficiently. Every action was monitored and coordinated with AI co-pilots that could adapt instantly to unexpected situations. Inside the Galactic Bank, the Alien Council watched nervously. They had always believed they controlled everything. Their systems were advanced, their laws complex. But the humans were different. They worked quickly, logically, and without arrogance. The Council realized, with growing alarm, that humans were not just capable, they were better at running the bank than they had ever been. A group of human economists, led by Dr. Ravi Patel, began auditing the bank's operations. They moved through databases and ledgers with incredible speed, finding errors, inefficiencies, and outdated practices. Where aliens had followed tradition, humans used logic. Where aliens had ignored ethical concerns, humans added transparency. Slowly but surely, the Galactic Bank began to change, not because of pressure, but because humans proved a better way existed. Kara walked through the main hall of the bank for the first time. Alien employees floated past, unsure of what to do. Holographic screens displayed data streams that humans could now access. Kara smiled. We are not here to punish. We are here to improve. The galaxy has rules, yes, but those rules work best when fairness and intelligence guide them. The aliens were not hostile, but they were cautious. They tested every human action, expecting mistakes. But humans had anticipated every scenario. Every legal requirement, every technical challenge, every negotiation point had been studied and mastered. The aliens had never seen a species so meticulous, so determined, and so capable of working together. One of the most remarkable changes came in customer relations. Humans introduced a transparent system for loans and credits, ensuring that species from across the galaxy could access funds fairly. No bribes, no hidden rules, just clear terms and honest calculations. Transactions that had taken days now took hours. Errors that had cost billions were corrected almost instantly. The bank's reputation began to shift. Where it had been feared and avoided, it now became respected and even admired. Meanwhile, autonomous drones repaired New Ether's infrastructure. Energy grids were stabilized, water systems upgraded, and transportation networks improved. Humans combined technology from Earth with the advanced alien systems already in place. Every improvement was subtle but effective, demonstrating that humans did not just own the planet, they cared for it. Kara addressed the entire human team one evening from the central command hub. We have done what no one believed possible. We have shown the galaxy that humans are capable of more than rejection, but this is just the beginning. Our goal is not control for its own sake. Our goal is to prove that intelligence, courage, and fairness can achieve what arrogance never could. As the days passed, the aliens began to understand the human approach. Where they had relied on authority, humans relied on merit. Where they had relied on intimidation, humans relied on strategy. Slowly, resistance gave way to cooperation. Alien staff began assisting humans willingly, impressed by their skill and efficiency. Even the Galactic Bank's Council adapted. They realized that humans were not invaders or conquerors, they were partners in progress. The Council accepted that the human methods worked better than centuries of tradition. In meetings, the aliens listened more than they spoke. They learned from humans, and in doing so, the entire system improved. Back on Earth, people followed the developments in awe. They cheered not for conquest, but for humanity's intelligence and perseverance. For the first time, the galaxy truly understood what humans could achieve when united by a common goal. Humans had transformed a symbol of alien arrogance into a beacon of fairness and efficiency. By the end of the first month, New Ether was unrecognizable. The Galactic Bank, once feared, was now a model of transparency. Systems ran smoothly, errors were rare, and trade thrived. Humanity had accomplished what no one thought possible. They had turned rejection into opportunity, arrogance into respect, and a hostile institution into a symbol of hope. Kara looked out over the city from the top of a tower, the sun reflecting off alien glass and metal. She smiled, knowing that humanity had not only secured its future, but also reshaped the galaxy's perception of humans. The mission was far from over, but the first step had been taken. Humanity had proven that cleverness, courage, and fairness could achieve what others could not. And above all, humanity had shown the universe that even when denied, they could rise, and they could change the rules of the game entirely. Earth had changed in ways that no one could have imagined. With the resources and technology from New Ether, cities once crumbling now gleamed with life. Renewable energy-powered homes and industries, forests were being replanted, and oceans were slowly recovering. Humanity had not only survived rejection, they had turned it into opportunity, proving to the galaxy that humans were clever, resilient, and unstoppable. From orbit, New Ether shone like a jewel, the hub of a galaxy-wide operation that humans now managed. The Galactic Bank, once feared for its bureaucracy and arrogance, had become a model of transparency and fairness. Alien species from dozens of star systems now approached Earth not with suspicion, but with curiosity and respect. Humanity had shown that intelligence and ethical leadership could achieve what force and fear never could. Ambassador Kara Malik stood in the command hub atop the main tower of New Ether, watching the flow of data across holographic screens. Ships moved in perfect coordination, credits and resources transferred smoothly, and colonies across the galaxy followed human guidance to manage trade, reconstruction, and innovation. "We've done more than just own a planet," she said to Ravi Patel, who stood beside her adjusting holographic charts. We've created a system that benefits everyone. That is what being human is about. Thinking beyond ourselves, solving problems, and lifting others along the way. Ravi nodded. And it all started with a rejection. They told us no. They underestimated us. But humans do not give up. When faced with impossible odds, we find a way. That is why they will never forget us and why the galaxy will never underestimate us again. Across New Ether, humans worked alongside aliens, engineers repairing energy grids, economists consulting on trade agreements, and scientists sharing knowledge. For the first time, collaboration flowed naturally. No longer was the galaxy ruled by fear or arrogance. It was led by capability, fairness, and courage. Humanity had become the standard by which other civilizations measured success. Meanwhile, Earth flourished. Cities grew taller and smarter, powered by energy systems developed with New Ether's technology. Education programs expanded to every corner of the planet. Oceans, once polluted, now teemed with life thanks to advanced filtration systems. And forests, planted with care and guided by human ingenuity, began to reclaim deserts and wastelands. Humanity's ingenuity had reshaped their home, proving that their species was capable of greatness on both a planetary and galactic scale. The Galactic Bank itself became a symbol of hope. Species who had once feared bureaucracy now approached humans for advice. Loans were given fairly, resources were distributed equitably, and trade flourished. What had once been a fortress of arrogance had become a beacon of progress, and all of it was managed without violence, only with strategy, intelligence, and moral guidance, the hallmarks of humanity. Even the alien council members, who had once sneered at humans, now acknowledged their skill. Some remained cautious, but most had learned to respect human leadership. They observed humans solving problems quickly, adapting to unexpected challenges, and managing both technology and diplomacy with remarkable efficiency. Perhaps we misjudged them, one alien finally admitted. They are unlike any species we have ever known. On Earth, people celebrated not just victories in space, but the triumph of the human spirit. From school children learning about interstellar trade, to engineers watching new cities rise from the ruins, every citizen felt the impact of their collective achievement. Humans had turned rejection into opportunity, arrogance into respect, and impossibility into reality. Kara stood on Earth's observation platform looking at the stars. She felt pride not just in the mission, but in humanity itself. "We have done what no one thought possible," she said softly. "We did it together with intelligence, courage, and fairness. And now the galaxy knows what humans are capable of." Ravi joined her, looking at the fleet of ships traveling between Earth and New Ether. "This is only the beginning," he said. "Humans will continue to explore, to innovate, and to lead. Not because we seek power, but because we can solve problems that others cannot. That is the true strength of our species." And so a new era began. Earth thrived, humanity expanded into the galaxy, and New Ether became a hub of knowledge, fairness, and opportunity.